Hello and welcome to our country garden. In today's video I'm going to be taking you on a tour of my garden in May. I hope you enjoy it.
The garden in late May is looking lush and green. The garden is mostly made up of traditional cottage plants. We've got lots of geraniums and alliums and aquilegia and valerian here in the foreground. The bed's looking quite full now. The fence line is covered in clematis and roses, and then above that runs a hornbeam hedge on stilts. It's a 6-foot bare stem with the hornbeam then another probably about 3 or 4 foot above that, so it provides a really nice feature. These are aquilegia, which just self-seed, and here are some alliums. These are Purple Sensation again, which have I did put some bulbs in, but over the years they have self-seeded, and also some red valerian. These geraniums are just going over. I'll cut them back and then they'll reflower again later in the season. This area, you'll notice that the grass looks very patchy. This is an area that we've recently just redesigned in the last few weeks, and we've put a path. This was the border, but we've put a grass path through the border. I'll show you what it was like before, and I hope that you'll agree that it improves the design just by bringing the plants into the garden more and up close to them. I think it really helps. This is a peony, all in bud, ready to flower. And lots more alliums. There is a lot of bare soil because I've split a lot of things, and these borders are quite new still. Go round to this a gravel path. It's edged with box hedging. Oh, and this is a rose called, it's a David Austin rose called Olivia Rose. It's all in bud, and here it's now flowering, so I'll show you what that looks like in flower. The gravel pathway runs right the way down to a mirror at the end, and is flanked with white flag and cream flag tulips, which have been lovely, which are just starting to go over. So this area, the planting is all quite new, so there's a lot of bare soil while we wait for the plants to knit together, and I'll follow that throughout the season. There's a nice lupin, and then over this side there's a delphinium, and the iris and the clematis climbing over the trellis in the background. Then we go down into the sunken garden, and there are 4 Portuguese laurels in this area, which have lovely glossy green leaves and a white fluffy flowers. And the area is edged with box hedging. The area on this side was there were some conifer trees which cast a heavy shade, so we've removed those, and in their place we've put some lime, which we plan to pleach. And then this area at the back has got some limelight hydrangea, which I try to keep this area mostly whites, greens and whites, and it makes it feel very peaceful and restful. The white montana, which is climbing up this cherry tree, is absolutely stunning. In the background you can see a pink montana climbing over the shed roof. Okay, heading in now to the woodland garden. There's a beautiful little Solomon seal, which is just arching over the path. It looks really pretty. Backlit as well, looks lovely. Now this area had conifers which were very dark, so we decided to remove the conifers, and in their place we've planted 6 birch trees, Betula giacomonte. They are about 15 foot tall, but obviously still very small, so we've had to stake them really well. This area does get a lot of wind, so we've staked them, so look a little bit unsightly with that, but will look absolutely stunning when they get established. We want to avoid rock until they establish. This is a Phormium jester with lovely red leaves which will contrast nicely with the white bark, and a Fatsia. And this is a Choicea. And we head down now onto the path to the this is a dry side, is a dry border, so mostly featuring plants that can withstand the dry conditions. This is our Dicentra. Lovely Montana. This area is a bog garden, so we've got plants that thrive in damp conditions. The area is filled with a pond liner and then backfilled with lots of manure. Got the lovely arum lily just poking through, and hostas and astilbes and irises. And this is a lovely Phormium. And this area is mostly hydrangea on that right side, and then on the left is more box hedging, just giving structure. We've got a little pond and some succulents. So heading into the parterre from the gravel path, this area is a new area we completed last year. It's made of cobble sets, and in each of the 4 quadrants we've got a white obelisk to add a bit of height, and then they're edged with box hedging, with 2 box hedging trees. The area will be filled with ballerina roses, which I have planted, but which are still, as you can see, very slow to establish, still in their infancy. So also on the white obelisk we've got sweet pea, which has just been planted, so hopefully that will look nice. And heading through this archway out of the parterre and to these large herbaceous borders. There are four Irish yews just to provide some height, and 3 box balls, and the borders are edged with box hedging. The borders are quite full now. We've got lovely purple sensation alliums and purple lupins, and then contrasting we've got the white of the Camasias, which are looking lovely. This is one that's just opening. And we've got some lupins. And the back of the border is edged with beech hedging, which has just come out in the last few weeks. And again, it's quite newly planted, so once it all knits together, we'll have a nice green backdrop to the planting. Got some roses and some large delphiniums, and the lupins look stunning. And in front of them is this lovely little aquilegia, which is called petticoat pink. It's very, very pretty. Look at it close up, and the bees love it. And there's lots of verbascum. There's purple and white verbascum, and the alliums are standing tall. Beech hedging along the back. These planters have just been planted out. And then from this seat it looks back up the garden and towards the house. And there's Murphy. The borders are more or less the same on both sides, same planting, it's not identical but similar planting, just to create harmony, but it's all pinks and whites and purples. Eupatorium there in the background, and some Stipa gigantica. The alliums look very iridescent. So heading off through the parterre, and this is the vegetable garden. It's quite well planted and quite full already. So I've got some sprouting broccoli and lettuce and broad beans and peas and more lettuce and rocket and chard and onions, more broad beans, more peas, potatoes, garlic, butternut squash, and the area in the background is going to be developed further. We need a larger area. So we've got big plans for this area. We've got a bit more work to do to have it as exactly as we want it. This is just a picking salad garden, so we've got more lettuce and chives. Some sweet corn that's under there. The greenhouse is quite chock-a-block. And lots of tomatoes, and cucumber, and some carrots in a pot. And this is where the work happens. And these are just some plants ready to go out into pots.